Cool. So let's talk about you, man. Enough about soccer. So you're an HVAC tech. So just let the audience know. I found Alex. I was watching a bunch of his videos, and I go, man, I think my audience would like to hear from this guy. And
Uh,
you had some really engaging videos. Good job, man.
no, appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate good feedback. So, first caveat I always say is I'll often refer to myself and others as engineers, where that term, especially in this country, is used a lot more loose. It is, I think, over there because you often refer to us as technicians, and an engineer, someone with a degree, is more used more loosely over here, I'd say. So often I'll be referred to as an engineer and refer myself as an engineer, but I've not been to university to get an engineering degree.
Okay.
So it's just a bit more of a loose term to describe a technician.
Right.
So if throughout this conversation, if I describe myself as an engineer, it's just a terminology difference. That's all.
Yep. Yep.
So
That happens a lot.
so when I left school at the age of 16 and I went to college, originally to do plumbing, um, and it was a 1 year course at college, and after that you would find a job and you would have learned the theory side of plumbing, and then you would do a portfolio to get your qualification in plumbing, an MVQ level 2.
Hmm.
I couldn't find a job plumbing. Nobody was taking on, and it was at that time back in 2006 where plumbers were going to be making thousands and thousands of pounds. So everybody wanted to be plumbers. So it was a bit difficult to get a job being a plumber. But I worked with a chap whose brother owned an air conditioning company. So I went for an interview with them, and that was it. Started working with them, and then I got sent to college to do my MVQ level 2 and 3 qualifications in air conditioning and refrigeration. Worked with that company for quite a few years, and it was all big new construction, constant building sites, just installing day in, day out. So over here, our market is very different. We don't have the same domestic market as you guys do. So
Hmm.
predominantly all our AC is what you would describe as ductless. So VRV systems, VRF systems, and then splits, whether that's twin splits, triple splits, or whatever. And then you get big air handling units with DX coils in there, but often connected to an AC unit.
Hmm.
There's some differences, but that's predominantly what the sort of kit is. So I pretty much was installing VRV units for many years, and then 2008 happened, the big crash. That company sort of limped on for a couple more years, and then in 2012 started at a company that I've just previously left,
Hmm.
and was with that company over 10 years and moved on more of a service and breakdown role. And then I've just now started a brand new company, which is a little bit more office based, a bit more project manager based, um, and that's pretty much it. I've been doing it what feels like a very long time, but maybe not that long to others. It's probably only been about 16 years, but with all the overtime, it probably feels about 30.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to rewind a little bit. So when you got out of, so they have high school. We call it high school here. So your
Yeah.
normal. Okay. So when you were getting ready to graduate high school, you mentioned that you went to college. So do they have trade school college and then regular college? What explain that a little bit.
So yeah. So again, terminology difference. So uh, back many moons ago, when I was at school, you would leave school at 16. That's no longer the case. You're in school till 18. So
Okay.
leave school at 18. You'd either go and get a job, or you would go to college and you would do your what's called your A levels, or you could
Hmm.
do a vocational course, which would be a trade effectively, or
Okay.
a qualification in hairdressing, or whatever.
Hmm.
If you wanted to go to university, you would do your A levels and then you would apply for university afterwards.
Right. Okay.
So it, I think the college terminology is just slightly different over here. That's all.
Right.
So I
So
imagine. me doing AC and refrigeration would be the equivalent of you going to a trade school.
Trade school. Yep. Yep. That's exactly right. So what was the deciding factor for you of instead of going to university to be a accountant or a computer programmer, whatever, versus going into the trades? What was your mindset at that time when you got out of your school at 16 or now 18?
So when I left school, I thought, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to go and do my A-levels. I don't want to go to college. Even though I ended up going to college, I didn't really want to do it. I wanted to start earning money. I'm also dyslexic, so the thought of effectively a couple more years of stuck in a classroom was not appealing to me whatsoever. And I also wanted a trade. Like at the time, I wanted a plumbing trade because that was the big thing.
Right.
I believe, especially in this country, nobody grows up wanting to be an air conditioning engineer because it's this hidden industry.
Right.
It's just in the background. Nobody really knows about it. So you either know somebody's already doing it or you fall into it. And that's pretty much how I fell into it. So again, I wanted to do plumbing and thousands of pounds, but nobody was taking on. And it just so happens I was working with a guy during the holidays who was doing a bit of plumbing, but his background was air conditioning. And he says, well, why do you fancy doing this? It's a bit of air, a bit of plumbing, a bit of electrical, a bit of everything. So I thought, great, I'll get into that.
Yeah, that's that. We have a very similar history because I'm moderately dyslexic as well, and I fell into the trades. Well, a long time ago. I'm going on 40 years, and that's how I ended up going into trades because the amount of reading that you have to do in our college, which the way we do it here is we have you go to regular you have grammar school, middle school, high school. High school ends at 18, and supposedly right around that time you're an adult, whatever whatever that is. And usually around 17, 18, when you're getting ready to graduate from high school is when there's that pressure. What am I going to do? Am I going to go into the trades, or am I going to go into a 4-year college? What am I going to do? And
Yeah,
so.
I mean, especially when I was 16, there was a huge amount of pressure from schools to effectively, you have to make your mind up then. Are you going to go to college and university? Are you going to get a trade? Or are you just going to go and get a job? And it's this sort of mentality that someone between the ages of 16 and 18 are going to know what they want to do for the rest of their life. And that's quite a lot of pressure to put on a young adult. I mean, there's a lot of people I know in the 40s and 50s, they're still not sure what they want to do for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, that's exact. Was there very much pressure, does your what we call high school do they have like counselors that kind of try and steer you into certain things? Does that happen over there?
I think it does in some schools. My particular school, they had a bit of a sort of a jobs fair sort of thing. So various colleges and universities would come in
Okay.
and basically say, this is what we do. But I would have to say there was a real push to go to university. This idea mentality is you're only going to make money if you go to university,
Right.
but you're going to be in thousands of pounds worth of debt doing it.
Right.
And there wasn't much visual things of what the trade can offer when I was at school. It was more of a case that, like I say, university is your best bet. So unless you were actively looking at what other opportunities there were, it was just this sort of narrow tunnel of that's the only way you can go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing here. Have you ever heard like roughly how much, let's say somebody over in Britain, they go to college, a university, and they get their degree and whatever. I know it depends on the degree, but what kind of debt load, once they graduate and they actually, graduate from university with a science degree or communications degree or whatever it is, what kind of debt load do these people have coming out of college or university?
So college is so when I was at college, it was free for under 21s. So
Okay.
When I did